I'm Dewan Johnson. Welcome to the Think Bigger Actors podcast, where I share with you different kinds of talks and coachings and conversations with actors and industry professionals on thinking bigger. I hope these conversations will help you on your path to success, because I believe success is an inside job that starts with your mindset and the thoughts you hold dominant in your mind. Change your thoughts and you change your world. Your path to thinking bigger begins now.
Welcome back to the Think Bigger Actors podcast. I'm your host, Dewan Johnson, and you're getting ready to listen to a mini-sode. That's just a mini podcast. Take a listen. Heyo. Welcome back to the Think Bigger Actors podcast. Mini-sode. So much fun. I love these mini-sodes. Today's mini-sode is going to be pretty simple. I've talked before in the mini-sode about, acting teachers and stuff like that. But I want to talk about coaching with a coach, coaching with an acting teacher, or coaching with a casting director, whatever it is, whoever it is. Let's dive into, maybe how to find the right coach or what you should do in those situations. Here's what I want to say. Three things really. Number one, when you meet a coach for the first time, or you want to work with said coach, maybe because you heard they do comedy well, or they do drama, or a lot of actors go to these places because coaches say, I so-and-so book this after they coach with me. Here's the one thing I want to say. It's all a cumulative thing, our artistry, if you will. Every teacher before that teacher has poured into somebody, and it's all a cumulative process thing, And so no one coach is going to help you book something more than the other. They're going to be great coaches for you. They're going to be great coaches to get you and bring the most out of you. Those are different things than someone who is just like, no, this is the reason why I booked. Or even like sidebar, even like a self-tape place, or even like a studio or something like that. Just be weary of that stuff. But what I want to say is, number one would be, before you have this major audition for that series regular or for that top of show recurring, and you want to work with, said coach or said casting director or whatever, I think you should work with them beforehand. So if there's somebody on your radar right now that you're thinking, ooh, I'll work with them when I get something, I'm going to encourage you to do it the other way around. And I say that because we want to make sure that when we get that appointment, what we do is we go to those people, but we don't know their style of working. And I've had situations where I've worked with people because of that. I thought I was going to love them and stuff like that. And their style is so different with working with me. I could not match the two. And I went in the audition trying to do what they told me to do in their audition session. And that's not where we want to be. We don't want to be trying to recreate that moment or recreate, what we did in the audition room. We want to go in there and fully live and have fun, or put it on tape, and live and have fun that way. So the suggestion there from me is work with a coach before you have this major appointment. It's okay. Spend the money. You just will thank yourself later for that one. Number two is, I want you to know that everything you're doing when you're working with a coach, that's what we're talking about, it should be a collaboration. This is a big thing. And to me, I'm like, you're really skipping the line here. This took me forever to know. I'm a recovering people pleaser, and sometimes that people pleasing thing comes back up. But when I would go into these auditions, I would really try to get a straight A. I want the grade. I want an A. And so when I would go into these coachings, what I would try to do is what that coach wanted me to do, so that coach would think that I'm amazing, instead of let's have a collaboration here. And another part of that is, sometimes you work with a coach and they are like, you're not doing it the way I'm coaching you. And, there's a little validity to that. Like, I think we can try to get it, but it should always never be about them. It should be more about, how can I bring the best out of you? How can I bring the best out of this character? And so when I say it's a collaboration, it's important because you want to go into any professional coaching, whether that's with a paid coach or a friend or whatever it is, you want to just make sure that it's a collaboration. One of the things I do before I get to working with a coach is I work it with a friend, or I work it, just with my partner and stuff like that. Like, I just work it beforehand with somebody. I know different than number one when I said, go work with that person. But no, like, you just want to make sure you get it all out with somebody. So by the time you even get to that coach, you guys are just fine tweaking. Really, 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 really important. And I think number 3 would be just understanding that everything a coach is going to give you, everything a coach is going to work with you on is their best guesstimate. Sure, some people's best guesstimate might be, I worked with a casting director and they're giving me the best booking, but that is only their best booking tips. Casting director A and you're going in for casting director B story, it might be totally different, because casting, you can't, do workshops or paid stuff for the shows you're on. That would be a pay for play. We don't want to deal with that. So, understand that this is their best guesstimate, which is why I said make sure it's a collaboration before, because they're going to give you their best tools and you're going to start with your best tools and it'll make a great synergy. You don't want to go in there and try to just repeat what they're doing. Just make sure it's the best guesstimate of that. That actually took me a long time also as a coach to realize too, because a lot of actors think they come to me because I worked on Bosch. They're like, oh, you worked on Bosch. You know what they do. So can I coach with you? I don't have a magic pill. I don't have a magic pill. And it's like when people come to me for those things, it's like, I don't know where your acting is. You're assuming you're at booking level, right? Because in your mind, you think, I can do this if somebody just puts me in the game. Yeah, we all think that. We all think that. But it's very important for us to kind of just make sure that we are checking ourselves. And knowing where our artistry lies. And I know it's subjective, but it's very, very, very important. I think those are the top 3 things that I want to make sure I say about how to find an audition coach or how to work with one. How to work with one is, work with them beforehand before you get the audition. That is so terribly important. Number 2 is make sure it is a collaboration. You're not trying to impress the coach. You're trying to go in there and be the character, put it on tape and do those things. And number 3 is understanding that this is the best guesstimate. Everybody's best guesstimate. I don't want to hear that stuff where people are like, well, I work with that coach and I didn't book. No coach has a 100% guarantee they're going to book. If I did, I'd have a line out the door. That's just not the case. So what do you do instead? Go in there and just be. Go in there and just live. Have so much fun and, then bless and release those characters when you're done. I think that's all I got for today. I'll see you next week for a fresh episode of the Think Bigger Actors podcast. I'm so lucky. Oh, and if you haven't gotten your ticket for the Booked and Busy Actors Retreat, then make sure you do. We are less than 3 weeks away. It's go time. It is go time for sure. All right, I'll let you go. I'll see you next week.